How many times have you found yourself saying, "I'll be happy when I get that job, buy that house, or finally find the perfect relationship"? It seems like we're always waiting for something, as if happiness is a prize reserved for the future, a reward for our efforts, achievements, or the realization of some goal. The problem is that many times, we forget that happiness isn't a goal to be achieved at some point in the future, but rather a state of being that can be accessed right now. We live in a society that teaches us from an early age that happiness must be earned. It's always tied to external factors: professional success, financial stability, the ideal partner, or the perfect life we see on social media. Many of us adopt the mindset of, "I'll be happy when." This becomes a kind of mantra that follows us. But the issue is that this way of thinking traps us in a state of waiting and perpetuates the idea that happiness is always a distant, unattainable goal. We then create a checklist of desires and objectives, believing that achieving these goals will finally bring us the peace and contentment we seek. The problem is, even when we check one of those items off our list, the feeling of satisfaction is fleeting. As soon as we achieve one goal, another arises, another desire takes its place, and the happiness we're chasing always seems to be postponed, as if we're running after something that we never truly seem to reach. This cycle makes us question whether we'll ever actually feel fulfilled. The vicious cycle of constant pursuit for future happiness is worsened by an important factor. Our identity is often deeply tied to external things. We define ourselves by what we do, what we own, and sometimes even by what others think of us. When things are going well, we feel a temporary sense of relief, a momentary satisfaction. But as soon as something goes wrong, a financial setback, the end of a relationship, or an unexpected criticism, the sense of stability and self-worth crumbles. We begin to wonder, if I am only what I do or what I have, who am I when those things disappear? In fact, this question exposes the rift between our external identity and our true essence. If I am only defined by what I do or own, who am I when those things are gone? This dilemma is one of the deepest questions we face as human beings, as it forces us to question our very existence, our purpose, and what truly matters to us on a personal level. Additionally, this vicious cycle isn't limited to external factors. Often we ourselves are our worst enemies. We procrastinate on what truly matters, avoid confronting our emotions, and waste energy trying to control things that are, by nature, uncontrollable. We want to predict the future, please everyone, and avoid any risk of rejection or failure. This constant effort to control everything around us exhausts us emotionally and creates unnecessary suffering. The world around us will never be fully within our control. True freedom lies in embracing what is uncontrollable and learning to respond to it in a more balanced and conscious way. We must accept that not everything is in our hands, and by accepting this reality, we can find a deeper peace. Real freedom comes from choosing what affects us, rather than merely reacting to what happens to us. What's wrong with the perception of happiness? When we begin to look at life from this new perspective, we realize that true freedom isn't about getting everything we want but letting go of what we think we need to be. Our identity isn't defined by our titles, our mistakes, or even our accomplishments. This can be frightening, as these things often become extensions of what we believe to be our essence. But in reality, when we let go of these external identities, we create a space where we can find something much deeper: the peace that comes from simply being who we are regardless of circumstances. This process of self-discovery can be compared to organizing a long-neglected closet. At first, everything seems like a mess, an entangled heap of thoughts, emotions, and outdated beliefs. We need to confront those old beliefs, the ones that no longer serve us, and make room for new values and purposes. This process isn't easy and takes time. It may even seem almost impossible at times. We may feel tempted to leave everything as it is, because dealing with the clutter of our inner world can be uncomfortable. But discovering who we truly are requires the courage to let go of old stories and open ourselves to new possibilities. Fortunately, there are many tools and practices that can help us along this transformative journey. Meditation, for instance, is a powerful practice that teaches us to be present and reconnect with the moment. It helps us shut out external distractions and focus on what is happening inside. Through meditation, we learn to calm our minds and reconnect with our deepest essence, one that isn't dependent on external achievements or future successes. Another valuable tool for the journey of self-discovery is reflective writing or journaling. Writing about our thoughts, feelings, and experiences allows us to observe the patterns in our lives. As we do so, we begin to become aware of how we are relating to our emotions, our goals, and our expectations. Through writing, we can identify limiting beliefs and begin to shift our perspective on the world. Over time, journaling can become an essential practice for self-reflection and growth. Moreover, we can turn to the wisdom of philosophers and thinkers who have deeply pondered the nature of happiness. Seneca, for example, reminds us that true happiness does not depend on what we have but on who we are. He speaks about the importance of freeing ourselves from the relentless pursuit of material possessions and social status, and cultivating a peaceful mind that remains unshaken by the ups and downs of life. Thinkers like Seneca teach us to look within ourselves for happiness, rather than seeking it outside. Although the journey of self-discovery takes time and involves many challenges, the truth is we shouldn't wait to begin. Life is unpredictable, and every day lost is an opportunity that will never come back. Starting now, even with small steps, is a gift we give to ourselves. Every moment of introspection and every choice made with more awareness brings us closer to a fuller, more fulfilling life. No matter where we are in life, the time for change is always now. The process of change and transformation is continuous and ongoing, and we should embrace it wholeheartedly. Happiness is not a distant destination that we reach after checking off a list of requirements. It is here right now, waiting for us to let go of the habit of fighting against the present and the illusion that we will be happy someday. Happiness is a daily practice, a conscious choice to live in the present moment with gratitude and acceptance. It invites us to abandon the constant search for something that is outside of ourselves and recognize that true happiness has always been within us, ready to be. So why wait? Why delay happiness if it is within our reach right now? The shift in perspective begins the moment we decide to stop postponing life, to stop postponing happiness. What are we waiting for? Life is happening right now, and happiness begins with the courage to allow ourselves to live fully without conditions. There is no reason to keep postponing happiness or waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is already here now. So I invite you to start today. Share these ideas with someone who you think needs to hear them too. And subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of self-discovery and freedom together. Happiness is simple, but it takes courage. Are you ready for the challenge?